The summer showcases continue, but this time they came one after the other. On June 11 we had the Xbox and PC gaming showcases, and on the 12th we had the Ubisoft and Capcom showcases. So let's go over them and discuss the highlights. Avowed has finally resurfaced to show its gameplay, with a lot of focus on magic and teasing the premise of the beginning of the game. The only downside is the 2024 release date. Rare announced a collaboration with Lucasfilm to release a Monkey Island story adventure in Sea of Thieves, which makes sense, they are a nice fit to each other. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is the most recent game from RGG Studio, and surprised by revealing Ichiban lost in Hawaii, but not much besides that. Capcom surprised with the reveal of Kunitsu-gami, Path of the Goddess. The game is heavily based on Japanese folklore, and the official site calls it a blend of action and strategy. The Persona announcements, Tactica and 3 Reload leaked a few days before, so their impact ended up being diminished. Jusant is another new game from Dontnod. The gameplay is focused on climbing, but I wonder how long or varied the gameplay around climbing will be. There is a demo out right now, but I haven't played it yet. Dungeons of Hindenburg is a very colorful action game. From the trailer I assume the player will be going inside book worlds, but the quick cuts made it difficult to tell how actiony it will really be. Cities Skylines 2 revealed the release date, good for people that are looking forward to it. Metaphor ReFantasio is a new RPG from Atlus. It was announced a while back with just a concept art from what I remember. I'm assuming it is close to Persona in gameplay, but the reveal trailer had way too many quick cuts to be able to say anything about it. Towerborn is a new game from the makers of Banner Saga. It's an action RPG that mixes beat-em-up gameplay with roguelike progression according to the developers. They also say they intend to support it long term. The second half of the show was dedicated exclusively to the Starfield Direct. It was a very good sell of the game, with Bethesda developers talking about the setting, the main story, the factions, the character traits, the planets, the ship customization, and the base building. After the first watch, I was excited for it, but on a second watch I noticed a problem. At no point Bethesda really talked about quests. It showed the player taking a quest and mentioned how traits can impact quests, but they never discussed quests in detail. It made me realize how much they seem to be expecting the players to just do things by themselves. It could just be an oversight, but the lack of quests in the presentation was felt. Overall, it was a good presentation for Xbox, but it had a few problems. First was the excess of CG trailers, particularly on the first-party side of it. And the extended showcase they had 2 days later didn't have any gameplay to complement the CG. Second, trailers with too many gameplay quick cuts. Even counting the Starfield Direct, I don't think there was a single gameplay clip that was longer than 10 seconds in the entire showcase. And third, a majority of the announcements is slated for 2024. On the same day as Xbox was the PC gaming show. They tried to cram way too many games into it, which resulted in the showcase going over 2 hours. And it didn't help that a lot of the games shown were early access announcements, and that they also had the quick gameplay clips problem. Ebenezer in the Christmas World is a Metroidvania inspired by the Christmas Carol. You'll be using ghosts as abilities to traverse and fight in the game. It is an interesting premise, and there's a demo out right now. Stampede Racing Royale is a kart racer with a battle royale spin, letting up to 60 players in a race. Mariachi Legends is an action platforming game with a pixel art style. The trailer had Lady Death speaking Japanese for some reason. I wonder if it will be like that in the final game, or is something done only for the marketing. Citizen Sleeper 2 got announced. I didn't play the first one but heard good things about it, so I'm happy people will get to play more of it. Diesel Legacy is a 2v2 fighting game that plays in the perspective of beat-em-up games. It looks interesting and there's an open beta right now, so go check it out if you're curious about it. Parcel Corps was the trailer that caught my attention the most. The player has to deliver packages around town while doing tricks and avoiding cops. It gave me a little bit of a Jet Set Radio vibe. 3000XX is a roguelike Mega Man clone that has been in early access for a few months now and is finally releasing on August 9. Check it out if you want to play a new Mega Man game, since Capcom seems interested in only releasing Mega Man collections lately. Stormgate did a good presentation, choosing to show the summary of a quick match to give an idea of how it will play. And considering it is an upcoming RTS from former StarCraft devs, you should already know what to expect. Usually I'm skeptical of spiritual successors made by former devs, but so far Stormgate hasn't triggered any alarms with me. Bloomtown is an RPG where the player will have to solve a mystery of missing children while taking care of the neighborhood, but it doesn't seem like it will release anytime soon. Ubisoft Forward was probably the best showcase in my opinion, and the main reason for that is that they did what no one else did in this entire season of showcases. They took their time to show gameplay and explain it. As I said in the Summer Game Fest review, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was a nice surprise. Ubisoft used the time to show a lot of combat and how the time powers will influence it and a few parts of the exploration. With the amount of Assassin's Creed games coming, I thought Ubisoft would focus a lot of time on them. Fortunately, they only really focus on Mirage and show gameplay, demonstrating how it is going back to Assassin's Creed classic route of stealth. Star Wars Outlaws got revealed in a CG trailer in the Xbox showcase, and the reason I don't lump it with the excess of CG trailers shown there is because it had a note at the end telling viewers to watch the Ubisoft event for a deep dive, and Ubisoft delivered. It was the longest gameplay of the showcase, and it gave me a good summary of how it will play. From controlling the pad to the shooting to choices influencing the story, and finishing with a quick fight against TIE fighters. I'm a Star Wars fan, but Outlaws managed to get me the most excited that I've been for a Star Wars game since Disney took over. Capcom has been doing their own showcases for a while now, and if you've been watching those, you know what to expect. Usually Capcom shows a few new things for already announced games and reveal one or two games. But even for Capcom standards, this one was awful. They just showed the same trailers that had already been revealed in previous showcases, with almost no information added. The more okay-ish thing talked about is that Exo Primal is doing another open beta and apparently is removing the PvP part of it. But they were so vague about it that I'm not even sure if it's being completely removed from the game or just from one mode. Pragmata had a new trailer and tried to be cute again with another delay announcement. Should have just made a Twitter post announcing it. Being cute with delay announcements, as Vaz would say.
One time is funny, two times it's fucking annoying, no?
These were my highlights of the summer showcases. If you want to add something I didn't mention, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you around.
Is ready. I love this part.